What is up, you guys? Diggerdan here, coming at you with another video. Today is my March wrap-up video, so I'm just talking about every book I read in the month of March in the year 2024. So without further ado, let's dig into it. So very similar to last month in February, there's a total of 6 books that I read. 4, again, are full-length novels, 1 for each week, thankfully. I stayed on track there. And then 2 as Korean manga, which I think is mangua, I think is how they say it. Let me know in the comments. Somebody told me last time and I already forget. I'm sorry. So the first book I read was Babel by R.F. Kuang, and this one really surprised me. I rated this one as an 8.32 out of 10, so really solid. And it surprised me because I guess I didn't really know what to expect. I talk about that a lot in my review for this book, which you should go watch right now. Well, after you're done watching this one, then go watch that. Yeah. But no, it really surprised me. This is a standalone, so if you just want standalone, you're kind of in between series, you just want, not a palate cleanser, but just one book by its own, I think this is a great addition to it. A lot of people say this is dark academia, and I would kind of agree. It's set in like Victorian England, and it deals a lot with like racism and colonialism and industrialism and all those things, which I think is really interesting, and it has a very diverse cast of characters. The main character you follow is Robin Swift. I was trying to think of his last name. Yeah, so he's originally from China, but then he has an Englishman come and kind of save him from the situation that he's in. And then his new guardian, the Englishman, kind of trains him in the ways of translation, kind of focusing on Greek and Latin. But then also he's got that Mandarin or Chinese that he's working off of, and then a little bit of Cantonese as well. And yeah, and it's just a really interesting book. Like I said, it talks a lot about a lot of interesting topics, and just kind of the politics of it all, which I know kind of sounds boring, but R.F. Kuang crafts it in such a way that it's really intriguing, at least from my opinion. So, and then the second book I read for March was Star Wars Dark Force Rising by Timothy Zahn, which is the second Thrawn trilogy book, the Legends version, not the new canon Disney BS. I don't know if it's BS, I haven't read it, but based off the sequel movies, I'm assuming it's not great. Although Timothy Zahn wrote that one, I think, so maybe it is still good. Because this one I did like. I rated this one as a 7.32 out of 10. So yeah, I liked it, not as much as Babel, but still pretty good. I feel like if you love Star Wars, you'll probably enjoy this book. Yeah, it's a second book in the middle of a trilogy, so I can't really talk spoilers, but it's good. It takes place 5 years after, well, maybe 6 years now with this book, but a few years after the events of Episode 6. So if you've watched those films, I'm assuming you have, the second Death Star explodes, Darth Vader dies, Palpatine's dead, but there's still some Empire forces that are kind of wreaking havoc in the Outer Rim, things like that, for the Rebel Alliance, who is now sort of a government. So just kind of working through all that, and then it's Grand Admiral Thrawn is kind of the main bad guy, which is really interesting. And there's maybe a new Dark Jedi type thing. So yeah, interesting. I'm excited for book 3, but it's not like my favorite book series ever. But yeah, we'll see how book 3 goes. My third book I read was Dune Messiah, which is book number 2 in the Dune saga, written by Frank Herbert. I have not watched the second movie, but I know it's based off of part 2, like the second half of the first book. So if you've loved those movies, I definitely suggest reading the books. But this book I loved. I didn't like it as much as the first book, the original Dune, but I did rate Dune Messiah as a 8.93, which again is very high. I think Dune was like a 9 something. I don't remember. But go check out my review for this one, and I do talk about it in there. But yeah, it's great. I don't want to talk spoilers stuff, but it's very thought-provoking. It is a little bit of a twist on, well, it's still Dune, but it's a little bit of a twist on kind of the tone of the original book. That's really kind of all I can say without saying spoilers. But it has some awesome added world building in this. We do get to see a little bit more of like the guild masters, I forget what they're called, and we get to see a whole new faction introduced, the face dancers, Face Changers. I forget exactly what they're called, which is really cool. A very cool plot point. So, yeah, book number 3, Dude Messiah. Now, the last full-length novel I read was New Spring by Robert Jordan, which is the prequel to the epic Wheel of Time 14-book saga. And I love this book. This was my favorite book I read this month. I rated New Spring as a 9.06 out of 10, so very high. And yeah, it's definitely the smallest book. This is just over 300 pages, where I think the shortest book is like just under 800 pages. So there's 500-page difference, but I still love this book. This is phenomenal. I can't believe how much world building and like plot Robert Jordan managed to fit in 300 pages. I just think it was epic. And I love Wheel of Time. Wheel of Time is my favorite series I've ever read. So maybe I'm a little biased when it came to New Spring. I know some people don't really care for it. I know some people think it's unnecessary, not needed. And I agree, it's maybe not necessary, but I'm glad I have it, and I'm glad I read it. So thank you, Robert Jordan, for that. And yeah. So those 4 were my 4 full-length novels that I read. And then these 2, Solo Leveling 3 and 4, excuse the stickers. This is from my library, for a library. I think they borrowed it from a different one. And I just love it. I haven't read any like prose RPG, or excuse me, lit RPG. But I do, like, this is manga, right? So it's got pictures, which is awesome. And it literally, I know this has become an anime now. I haven't watched that. But reading this, it literally feels like I'm watching an anime, which is awesome. And I don't really read graphic novels or manga much, but this was recommended to me a couple years ago on TikTok. And I thought I was reading, when I ordered this, like when I placed a hold on this at the library, I thought it was the prose version, because there is like an actual prose version of these as well. And then when when I got it and I came home and started to read it, I realized it's picture book. My wife makes fun of me that I'm reading a picture book. I'm like, screw you. It's really entertaining. So I'm still interested to see how that compares to this, but I'm absolutely loving these books. 3 and 4 respectively, I rated as an 8.5 and an 8.62. And I have a review, or like a video review, out for Volume 1. I didn't do one for Volume 2. Didn't really get that much traction on the first video. But if you guys want to hear more of my thoughts, let me know. Maybe I'll do a video on them. If not, I'm trying to catch up and do written reviews on Goodreads as well. So maybe I'll finally do a review on those, on Goodreads at least. But yeah, if you like lit RPG, like that's what this is. It's got, and if you don't know what lit RPG is, like basically the characters or main character, as they face challenges and fight monsters, they gain experience or levels, increasing their stats or getting new equipment, basically making them more and more powerful throughout the story. Which is awesome, because the whole premise, at least for the first book, is that main character Jin Woo Sung is the weakest hunter in the world. He's like the lowest E-rank hunter. And then there's a reawakening experience, and then he starts gaining this experience, and he becomes this total BA character, and it's just really satisfying to watch, and it's very exciting. And these are so addicting. I probably would have read the 5th one this month if I didn't have to wait from the library to get it. Yeah, they're just so good. So yeah, those are the 6 books/graphic novels I read last month in March, which brings my total for the year to 18 books out of my goal of 40 books I intend to try to read for the year, if you include all the graphic novels I've read this year. But if you don't, and you just include full-length novels, then I'm at 13 out of 40, which Goodreads is still telling me I'm ahead of schedule, so I'm feeling really good about that. So yeah, what'd you guys read this year? Have you read any of these? Are they good picks, you think? Any of these you're excited to watch a review on? I don't know. Let me know. In the comments, I'd love to let you guys give me some book recommendations. Things, I know it's kind of hard, little grainy, but if you see things on my shelf that you're excited to have me read, let me know. Maybe I'll try to bump it up a little bit. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you. If you like this video, please hit like down below. Want to see more from me, Diggerdan, please hit that subscribe button as well as that bell notification icon so you guys know when I upload each and every single time. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.